might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, everyone. I am trying out a show real quick to see how it goes. It's an early morning show. Today is Monday, October 30th, 2023. It is currently 7:20 a.m. on the East Coast. And so just trying out a show where we have some coffee, right? Have some coffee. And we take a look at some news, some job market news that's going around in the industry. So, and I don't want to spend more than 30 minutes on this stream. So, what am I going to do? I am going to put this up right here, and I'm going to go ahead and put our timer up. And I'm going to put it for 25 minutes. And what we're going to do, we are going to look at some news on, today we're going to look on LinkedIn. We're going to be looking at a post that talks about 500 job applications and no offer. We're going to look at Shein and Forever 21 merging. And we're going to look at the UAW strike ends and widens in another area, right? So, before we get into that, you already know the live show schedule, but if you don't, I will share it again real quick. We have on Tuesdays at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We have our Q&A session on Thursday nights at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our software explorations. We are going to continue in Cyprus this week, and on Sundays, we have software explorations where we are going through Terraform, and then our pre-recorded content. Today, we have Candid Conversations coming out at noon, talking about Nobody Owes You Anything. It's premiering at noon. You can already go and click the notification for that video. And then on Wednesdays at noon, we have software explorations where we're going to be going through part 2 of Docker. And then on Fridays, we have the Bug Bite where we are going to be talking about the 23andMe security breach from this year. So check out our live shows and our pre-recorded shows. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know that every time that we go live, and all the content that we release on a daily basis. So, and like we are trying this out today, there's always new ideas, being creative to see what kind of value that we can continue to bring to you. All right. So let's get into our articles. Let's see. Okay, so we are going to go like that, and we are going to do, and not that many sound effects today because it is early in the morning and we do not need to start off our day with a headache. Maybe you are on the road driving to work. I'm not trying to startle you this early morning. So let's just get into our show. All right. So, and if you have any questions, any comments, feel free to drop it in the chat and I will make sure that we address it. All right. Okay. So so the first article I wanted to touch on, it says 500 job applications and no offers. And this is coming from LinkedIn News. And let's zoom in a bit. All right. So let's read it together. It says 500 jobs and no offers. There appears to be no shortage of open jobs, but try telling that to someone who have submitted try telling that to people who have submitted 500 applications with no success. People can apply to some positions with just one click, but that convenience only raises the odds of rejection. It really just turned into a numbers game, said Chris Spector, who applied to 500 jobs after he was laid off from a mortgage service company in March. What to do? One executive coach recommends one on one networking to potential opportunities from professional contacts. Spector managed to find a job in his home state of New Jersey. All right. So what I did was I went and I blocked the name of the people and I covered their images because we don't need to know exactly who said it, but I just want to hover over cover some of these, right? So this comment or this repost of this article, this person says, I'm glad that Bloomberg chose to do this article because I do know a lot of job seekers who have posted to numerous openings and are still looking. Like myself, they are networking on LinkedIn, constantly learning new techniques to write their resumes and LinkedIn profiles and attending numerous webinars and audio events to find one thing they need to find to find the one thing they need to find their next position. It really shouldn't be this hard. However, the main point I would like to agree with is that I have found such amazing and wonderful connections who have all offers to help in some way. Thank you for everything you do, and don't forget we're all in this together. All right, so and let me see. Let's jump down. So, real quick, right? The job market is like it's interesting because the unemployment rate is so low, right? But at the same time, when we looked on LinkedIn, it like you see so many people with the banner of open to work, so many people applying for jobs and getting discouraged and stuff like that. And it's interesting because this article it talks about 500 job applications, but if you were with us a few weeks ago when we were reviewing the criteria to getting a refund from a particular boot camp, you had to apply for about 3,400 jobs within a calendar year to be eligible for the refund, right? And some people say it's a numbers game and you just apply, apply, apply. And while part of that is somewhat true, um, I also think that the quality of your resume plays a big role in whether you land a position or not. Your LinkedIn profile plays a role. So, like this person says, like this person who was reposting said that they are constantly learning new techniques to write their resumes and LinkedIn profiles and attending numerous webinars. But here is another potential problem with the resume, right? Not only the content of the resume also matters. It could be written very nicely, but you're not articulating, or maybe you just don't have the skills of the positions that you're trying to apply for. It really shouldn't be this hard. Well, times have changed. It's when think about it like this: when there was a limited access um, to talent, right? Because now you can find talent all over the world. You can have them work remotely. They can work hybrid. So you have outsourced companies. So many different challenges with how much the world has become connected, right? So when you say it shouldn't be this hard, like you're saying it shouldn't be this hard to find a job, right? Or but now when you used to have, let's say, 500,000 people in a town, and not everybody can do the same thing, right? And now you have how many people are in the world? Like billions of people, right? I don't even whatever the world population is, and not of course not everybody's qualified to do those jobs, but you just have a bigger market pool, and companies are going to do what's in the interest of their shareholders. So they're not going to purposely go try and pay more than they have to. So it's business at the end of the day, right? So I say, like, as the individual, what are you doing to continue enhancing your skills? Great that you're learning new techniques to write resumes and LinkedIn profiles, going to the webinars, audio events, but what are you doing to enhance your tangible skills? One thing that I talk about all the time, and like not even talk about, you see me do it, right? Always enhancing my tangible skills. Like the challenges that you see me do from Chaos Camp. How much time do I spend on that? I'll spend like weeks, sessions, like like 30-minute by the week to figure out a solution, right? What do companies want? Do they want just people who, like, let's take QA for example, right? Do they just want somebody who can write test cases, somebody who can um, follow steps like a robot, or do they want people who are coming to solve problems? Do they want engineers who are coming to solve problems? If you can solve somebody's problem, then you just add so much value, and it's all about adding value, right? The the landscape has changed from just being able to be a robot, because now they have robots to be robots, right? But from the individual, the people that they're looking for are those who are going to solve problems, those who are going to use the robots to solve the problems, right? That's the type of value you need to be looking into adding, right? So let's look at one more of these comments. So I found this one pretty interesting, right? It says, "While I'm hopeful to find a job quickly, I won't be applying for them in this type of manner. I learned in the past year what really matters is that I like the company I work for, people and goals. I get something out of what I'm doing, purpose, and I also make a livable wage that reflects the commitment that I have for the work I do. I have a lot of studying. I have a lot of studying about the companies I want to do and questions to ask them." And you know what? While this sentiment is not, like, bad, I guess, but maybe this person has tons of money, and they don't need to, they can, or maybe their family has money, um, whatever the case may be, and they can just sit around and wait till they get the perfect opportunity. Not everybody's in that situation, right? And I think that it's very wishful thinking, and maybe they're newly unemployed. Who knows, right? They have a BA in international studies. I I don't even know what type of jobs you get with that, but but this goes to, in my opinion, it goes to the wishful thinking of, like, everything has to line up perfectly. All the stars have to line up perfectly in order for me to take this job. And you'll see it in the kind of conversation today with the sense of entitlement and stuff. um, Nobody, nobody owes you anything, and I would highly recommend you watch that. Nobody owes you anything, and I hope that you can find what you're looking for. But at some point, when stuff starts to hit the fan, you might have a different perspective, and you know. So I would say for me in particular, when I'm looking for something, I become super focused, super obsessed with it. And instead of studying about, like, the companies, of what I want to do and questions to ask them. Um, you know, I'm studying on I'm focused on enhancing my skills and getting better, and so that I can properly market myself into the value that I bring and not what the value that a company is going to bring to me. So that's how I see it. All right. So let's go back to our full screen real quick. And so far, I hope you are enjoying the show. Hope you're finding this, this coffee, our morning coffee and news session pretty good. All right. And let's go to, let me pull up another article. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Shein. Don't see it here anymore. Let me see. Well, we'll skip the Shein one. So the Shein one is pretty much talking about how Shein and Forever 21 are merging. And if anybody's, I'm pretty sure the ladies are familiar with Shein and Forever 21, but like I had always known about Forever 21 because I saw it in the mall and stuff like that, right? But Shein, that one came out of nowhere because I would have some people that I knew who would be shopping on Shein online, and I'm like, oh, I never heard of this, and really cheap clothing, well, by cheap I mean affordable, and they seem to love it. So, more power to you and to Shein and to Forever 21. But let's go to let's talk about inflation real quick, right? So this says that inflation picked up in September. It says a key gauge for inflation. A key gauge showed inflation picked up in September to a 4-month high amid strong consumer spending. The core personal consumption expenditures price index, excluding volatile food and fuel prices, was up 0.3% for the month from 0.1% in August. Per the Bureau of Economic Analysis on Friday, the Federal Reserve's preferred price gauge, the Federal Reserve's preferred price gauge is the last major economic indicator to be released before the central bank meets to set interest rates next week. On an annual basis, meanwhile, the core index fell to a rate of 3.7% last month from a revised 3.8% in August. Consumer spending jumped a monthly 0.7% in September. The Fed, which sets its key rate on November 1st, has been raising interest rates at the fastest pace in 40 years to curb inflation. So, let's see. So, pretty much inflation is going up, and things are getting more expensive, as we can clearly see because my favorite food, steak. I used to get it on sale, right, at a local, well, not super local, but a store called Winn-Dixie. They would have these weekend sales, right? And I remember that the cheapest that they used to have it, 2-3 years ago, I could get like a T-bone for $3.99 a pound, right? And then sometimes it would be you pretty much get it between, so T-bone, New York strip, ribeye, right? You can get it between $3.99 a pound to $5.99 a pound, right? Now it's at $7.99 a pound, and I'm like, I mean, still trust me, but it's not a bad price. But when you're coming from 3.99 to 5.99 a pound, in that range, all the way to 7.99 a pound, that's if it's serious, right? So inflation, and I heard this from one of my favorite content creators, right? Inflation affects all of us differently because based on your the core things that you need, um, it can inflation can be a lot higher for you, or it can be a lot lower for you. But for everyone, at some point, it's higher to a certain extent, right? So it's just interesting that it looks like things are going to keep going up. You know, we can see what's going on with the housing situation, like in certain cities with the homeless crisis, and housing is housing keeps getting more expensive. Interest rates are going up on the housing market, and pretty much everything is getting more expensive. Whatever it is that like our daily needs getting more expensive. So that's the state of the market, right? And we have to adjust. We have to keep our heads down. We have to make smart decisions because at the same time, it says amid strong consumer spending, what are we like with with the article that we just read? 500 applications and nothing, right? Boot camps are telling you that you need to apply to almost 4,000 jobs in order to qualify for a refund. And what if you get like some nonsense job? Like, does that count as does that count as a job and now they're done with you? So, you got like keep your head down, keep your head in your books, study, 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 get better, gain skills, build your portfolio. Don't waste your life away. Don't keep wasting your precious dollars on stuff that aren't important right now. Things are more expensive. Use your money wisely, invest properly. All right. Don't go for those get rich quick schemes. If they tell you that you're going to be making $250,000 a year in 6 months of a $100,000 boot camp, think twice about it. All right. So let's go to. So inflation. It's not fun, but you gotta go through it. All right. So let's find. Let's see. One more. All right. So let's go with this one. It says UAW ends a strike. UAW, United Auto Workers, ends a strike, widens another, right? So the United Auto Workers has it's the grammar sometimes it throws me off because it's probably grammatically correct, but when it goes workers, although this is like one entity, right? I just when I see an S at the end, I just have to say have, right? The United Auto Workers has expanded its strike against General Motors. Now the only one of the three Detroit automakers without a contract agreement. After marathon talks, the UAW on Saturday evening called for a walkout at the GM assembly plant in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Despite the setback, there was progress between UAW and Stellantis, which reached a tentative agreement Saturday to end a historic 6-week strike pending ratification by members. The deal is similar to the agreement announced days earlier with Ford, but GM is resisting similar terms, UAW President Sean Fain said. The deal with Ford and Stellantis calls for 25% raises over the life of the 4.5-year contracts and benefits such as cost of living adjustments. A Stellantis plant in Belvidere, Illinois was idled last winter will reopen as a result of the deal. All right. So let's take a look real quick. Uh, So, let's see anything here. Detroit News. The Spring Hill Assembly plants 4,000 workers produce Cadillac and GMC models. They'll join 10,000 other GM workers on picket lines. And they reach an agreement. Whatever. All right. So, anyways, it's interesting. I don't know what the sentiment of the people are, right? Speaking of, we just talked about inflation and prices going up. And if you look at the price of cars lately, it's crazy. And now with these with every like I just it's hard to see what the price of cars of these cars, right? These American made cars for GM. I mean, I'm sure eventually GM is going to sign off on something, right? But for GM, Stellantis, which Chrysler, what I wonder what the price of their cars are going to be, right? Because who's going to eat these costs? It's going to be the consumer, right? The person who's purchasing these cars. So my question is now, do you stick, as a consumer, do you stick with these cars when there's most likely going to be a significant price increase or a significant downturn in the quality of the product, right? What do you do as the consumer? Or do you go to another automobile manufacturer who is not controlled by the unions? That's a choice that everyone's going to have to make for themselves. It's tough out there. But that's it for today, right? Let's go back here. And I appreciate everyone who tuned in, whether you watched it live or watched it on replay. So this is something that I am looking into and trying out. Let me stop this timer. Get that off the screen. So if you found it, useful, got to get your day, your week started off right, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. I already shared the live schedule and the pre-recorded content schedule. Tune into the Bug Bite today at 12 or it's still early in the morning. I have not finished my coffee yet. What I was saying is tune into Candid Conversations today at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be talking about nobody owes you anything. All right. But thank you guys for tuning in. I have got to go and get ready to get to work and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys live tomorrow night on our Q&A session. But until next time.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.